There we go. Legit snowstorm today in Toronto, and I am very excited about it. So, I made a mock-up of the Gertie cigarette pants, and you know, last night when I tried them on, I was disappointed. I was very, very disappointed. I looked like I had been poured into them. That's how fitted they were. And so I didn't know what to do. The pattern is a fitted pant. It's a fitted pant. It's not the wide leg pant like the previous video, but these are very fitted. They're very fitted. Like, when I say I've been poured into them, I can't sit down. Think Sandy from Grease at the end of the movie where she's like, where they had to literally sew her into the pants. If you didn't know that, the end of the movie, they sewed Olivia Newton-John into that outfit because that's how tight it was. So I put them back on today to see what my options are, and they're actually fitting a bit better today. So, like every human out there in the world, and particularly women, my weight at the beginning of the day is different from my weight at the end of the day, and so things fit very, very differently. The pants you love in the morning are not the pants that you love at night. So I've got them back on. They're actually really much more comfortable. I still look like I've been poured into them, and I'll show you that in a second. But I don't think I need to make the crazy adjustments that I thought I was going to have to make. I think maybe if I just size up, I might get the fit that I want. So here we go. I'm showing you what I've done. Okay, so here is the pant. I haven't finished it. I haven't put the waistband on. Last night I couldn't, like, the difference in today and last night is huge. How I'm feeling about these pants and actually how they're fitting me, like, huge difference. Last night I couldn't have sat down in these without busting a seam, and tonight or this morning I could march in place if I had to. So there's that. That's impressive. So they've got pockets, which are great. It's supposed to have an invisible zipper, but I don't have any on hand. Sorry, you're seeing like our entire kitchen here. I don't have any on hand, so I'm gonna use what I have. This side I made no adjustments to. After trying them on the first time, what I did was I adjusted the seam on this side. I took it out by like, gosh, I think maybe 1/4 of an inch, maybe, and put a fresh seam in with a narrower seam allowance. And that did give me a bit more leeway. Like, you can see that there's a difference between how it's all fitting. Also, this is a cotton bed sheet, and so by nature it's going to stretch out as I wear it. What I want to make these out of is like a poly wool blend. I think it's going to have a similar amount of stretch, which is no stretch. Let's turn this around. I'm gonna make a new mock-up, and what I'm gonna do is, instead of making a full pant mock-up, I'm going to just make it like a pair of shorts. So I'm going to make the size up and see how that fits. What I anticipate is that the hip and butt are gonna be great, and I'm going to have to just nip it in at the waist a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. These come together really quickly. I'm not gonna lie, the pocket construction is a bit of a mind bend. There is no spoon.
Do not try and bend the spoon. That's impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth.
What truth?
There is no spoon.
I think they're gonna be cute. Let me show you the fabric I want to make them out of. I got this fabric years ago to make a skirt. My mom made me a circle skirt out of it, actually, and it's lovely. There's this fun sort of blue stripe that goes through it that you don't see unless you're really paying attention. See right there? Anyways, so yeah, it's definitely a wool blend. It's not a high concentration of wool, but it's a wool blend. It doesn't have a good drape, and so that's why I don't think I want to make the wide leg pants out of it. I just think that they might look a little stiff. And I thought that these would actually be really cute as slightly narrower legged cigarette pants. We're taking chances here. This is the book, Gertie's Vintage Casual, and we are making the cigarette pants, which will eventually come out looking a bit like that. So yeah, these ones look quite fitted on her. I went onto the Facebook group I'm part of, Gertie's sewing help or whatever, and I asked some of the friends there what their experiences were with this sewing pattern. And most people had really good success with it. I think the trick is that almost all of them used a stretch fabric, and I don't have a stretch fabric on me. But almost everything on here is like double knits, wovens, stretch wovens, like those all have give to them, and the cotton and this fabric do not. There's a little stretch to it, but it's not enough to rely on. We're gonna mock up. We're gonna mock up another pair in the size up, and we'll go from there. Okay, let's do it. Snow. So if you've never used one of Gertie's books before, they're kind of great. They all come with the pattern pieces in a little pocket in the back, and they're all modular. You can build on them and take away from them. Get to use the same fabric weights Ben made me. He had some old washers, so he glued a couple together, and now I've got like little fabric weights.
I use tissue paper to trace out the patterns so that I get to maintain all the sizes. Also, in order to conserve space, the publishers and the printers overlapped some pattern pieces on the pattern maps, and so I like to use tissue paper to trace out my patterns. A, to conserve the original pattern, and B, it's just cheap. Tissue paper is cheap.
"24 hours later."
Okay, so it is the next day because I was so excited about the snow yesterday, and unfortunately it gave me a huge pressure headache. So I ended up going to lie down for a good portion of the day so that it didn't turn into a migraine, which it was trying very hard to do. So the mock-up took me way longer than it should have. Like, I finished it today. I'm wearing the mock-up currently, so let's take a look. I went up a size and I added an inch in length to the waistband. Please excuse the mess of this room. We have a very tiny apartment and we both have a lot of hobbies. So here it is, a size up with an extra inch added in height. Which has actually been really good because, as I said in a previous video, I have a long torso, which means my waist isn't necessarily higher, but the length from my crotch to my waist is long. So I have to make adjustments for that sometimes. So I added an inch, and definitely going up a size in the pattern, considering that the fabric I'm using doesn't have stretch, is a good plan. The waist is fitting really nicely because it's up higher. Like it's actually fitting really nicely. Like, it's snug up against my back, which is really unusual for me to have. I'm almost always gaping back there, so this is actually really lovely. I'm happy with how that's fitting. And I've got room to actually use the pocket, and I'm not poured into it. Now, these will get baggier as I wear them. Like, you know how clothing is. You wear it, it stretches out, you wash it, and you can't breathe the first time you put it on for about 10 minutes. So I expect that's what this is going to be like. But for now, I think this is a really good fit. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this. We're gonna take this and put it onto the good fabric. Sexy with the socks and the mess. Can you do the can? That's the other thing too, is I can actually sit in these. Like, I could cha 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 cha. Well, hi. A little late to the party, aren't you? Oh. That's... Yeah, you missed it. You were sleeping. Yeah. I know. You missed all the fun. I got it done in record time. Oh. It's very sad. Yeah, you were asleep in your box. Yeah. I know. What are you doing? Careful. Yeah. Okay, bye. No. No.
Alright, with our pattern all cut out, I am pinning the darts here in the back. I always struggle a bit with darts, so I tend to use an excess of pins. For anyone who is unfamiliar with sewing darts, they definitely recommend that instead of backstitching at the end of your dart that you sew straight, snip your threads, and then tie a little knot to avoid little bubbling. Alright, this is the first step of the pocket add-on. And I think I top stitched it wrong, which we'll see in a few seconds. I just spotted the problem. If I had top stitched it to the other side, then I think it would have given me that extra little bit of length that I needed. But you know what? We're moving forward because I didn't feel like undoing it all. I didn't have an invisible zipper, so I just used a regular zipper, and what I did first was I basted the length of the zipper, and then I sewed the seam of the rest of the pant. And I ironed it to just make putting the zipper in a little bit easier. And then I just unstitched the basting portion and inserted the zipper into that section and pinned it. zipper foot. And luckily I had the foresight to check that the zipper unzipped before sewing it in. Oh, yeah, see? Oh, look at that. It's a sticky zipper. XYZ, examine your zipper before you sew it in. I should have checked it before, but I checked it before I sewed it, so, you know, the worst I had to do was just unpin it. Check, 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 check. Sure, the minute I unpin it, it unzips fine. And then the fresh one is a terrible zipper. But then it started to move better, and the old one got stuck, so I just decided to go with the new one. I have no idea why it was so sticky, but once it was in the pant and putting it on, there's zero issue zipping up. And now I'm attaching the front and the back of the pants together. These pants really did come together very easily. The hardest part was figuring out the pockets. And then the surprise was the waistband. It's not actually a waistband, it's more like almost like an interfacing. It flips down on the inside of the pant. I definitely prefer pants with a waistband. I just find that they sit better and more snug. The waistband almost helps to hold the pants up, if that makes sense. And some ironing. And here's the waistband. As you can see, it's not meant to be a stand-up waistband. It definitely flips over onto the inside and acts like an interfacing almost. Sort of helps to finish off the top edge. If I were to, well, I'm going to make these again because they're actually a really lovely pant, but I'm going to definitely give myself a proper waistband.
One pair of pants later.
So as you can see, they're not as fitted as the image in the book, and that's partially because I didn't choose a stretched material, and also because I went up a size. So everything's going to fit just a little bit looser. Oh, snow. Every time. So yeah, that was for the pants. I really enjoy sewing Gertie's patterns, and I think it would be fun to sew some more with you. Please like and subscribe, and let me know what else you would like to see. Thank you so much for watching and spending your time with me, and I will see you in my next video.